"We're remodeling, you're covering half." My sister texted with a $92,000 contractor quote for her house. "Mom says it's your turn to pitch in." I replied, "No," she sent a voice note. "Then don't expect a Christmas invite." I didn't reply. On December 24th, she posted photos. "Family comes first." I commented, "Cute. P.S. The car in your driveway, mine. Tow truck's already dispatched." 10 minutes later. "Oh man. You know that moment when a single photo shatters your entire world? Mine happened on Christmas Eve, with my 9-year-old son leaning on my shoulder, looking at a picture of our family celebrating without us. And then he asks you, 'Dad, why am I not in the family?' That was the moment I typed the comment that changed everything. Nice. P.S. The car in your driveway? Mine. Tow truck's on the way." Man, that sting was instant. I was sitting there in the firehouse day room, trying to get some paperwork done. Christmas Eve. My 9-year-old son, Liam, was right there beside me, all bundled up in a too big Station 14 hoodie. Cartoons were playing. The guys were messing with the foosball table down the hall, and the air smelled like burned coffee. You know, a typical firehouse Christmas Eve. I'd just opened Facebook, a mistake, honestly. And there it was, Jenna's post. My sister. It was a picture of my parents' living room, the tree glowing, everyone smiling in their matching plaid PJs. The caption? "Family first." Couldn't imagine Christmas without my people, every grandkid, every adult. But there was a gaping hole in that picture. My mom was in the middle, holding Jenna's youngest, with a painfully clear, empty spot right where Liam should have been. My stomach dropped. I felt Liam lean into my side to see the screen better. He's quiet, serious, the kind of kid who always asks before touching. He started counting faces, softly, under his breath. 1, 2, 3, and then he just stopped. "Oh," he whispered, just that one syllable. "So small, so lost." My throat went tight. My hands were already shaking from the text thread that got us here. And now this. I scrolled, desperately. Second photo. My parents holding a sign that read, "Renovation starts January 8th. New chapter for this home." Third photo. Jenna and her husband on the front steps with their kids. Same driveway. And there it was. The silver RAV4. The one that was in my name. Something just clicked. You know that weird calm that washes over you on a truly horrific call. The one where you see the wreck, but your brain just steps around the glass and does what needs to be done? That's what hit me. My finger flew to the comment section. I typed, "Nice. P.S. The car in your driveway. Mine. Tow truck in 10. My finger hovered for half a second. And then I tapped post. Liam looked up at me, his eyes wide. "Am I not family now?" he asked. That was the real fire. Not the blazing kitchen I'd just run into, or the overturned SUV on the interstate. No, the real fire was a 9-year-old boy in a borrowed hoodie, his voice barely a whisper, asking if he even counted. I swallowed hard. "You're my family, buddy," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "And that's more important than any picture." He nodded, but his eyes kept drifting back to that screen. A second too long. My phone buzzed immediately. I just locked it, flipped it face down. "Hey, buddy," I said, forcing a smile. "You want to help me check the truck? We'll do our own Christmas tonight." He gave me a tiny smile. "Can I ring the bell?" "Yeah," I said. "You can ring the bell." We walked out to the bay, but my heart was pounding like we were already screaming down the road to a 5 alarm. You see, I'm Mark, 39, a firefighter/paramedic here in Columbus, Ohio, divorced with my son Liam, who's my entire world. I work the 24 on, 48 off shifts at Station 14. And when I'm not dragging hoses or riding the medic unit, I'm trying to be at every school concert, every soccer game, fitting it all in between shifts. My parents live about 20 minutes away, in the same split level I grew up in. My younger sister, Jenna, she lives even closer, just 5 minutes from them, with her husband, Tyler, and their 3 kids. If you ask my family to describe me, they'd probably say, "Oh, Mark? He's the responsible one." The firefighter. The guy you call when your car dies or your basement floods. What they wouldn't mention is that I'm also the guy they call when the water heater goes out and they can't afford a new one. Or when the electric bill is 2 months behind. Or when the minivan needs tires and they say, "You get overtime, right?" Just this once. For family. For years, I said yes. I'd pick up extra 24-hour shifts, slide them cash in envelopes, put repairs on my credit card, co-sign loans. I told myself it was just what you did. They did watch Liam sometimes when my ex-wife traveled for work, so there was this weird, twisted equation in my head where it felt fair. It started small. Can you spot us $300 until Friday? Or, we're short for Christmas gifts this year, can you help? Then the numbers got bigger. A $5,000 roof loan that somehow became a gift covering my parents' property tax after my dad retired early. Co-signing for Jenna's RAV4 when her old car finally died. I signed for that one because she had 3 kids in car seats, and she cried in the bank office, and my mom kept saying, "You're single, Mark. You don't have a big mortgage. Help your sister." Liam was 6 then. The loan officer never asked where he fit into this picture. But the money, that was one thing. The way they treated my kid, that was another entirely. They never came right out and said Liam was less than, That would have been easier to fight, honestly. It was always the little stuff. The insidious, creeping slights that chipped away at you. Birthday parties where they'd forget his favorite chips, but everyone else's snacks were meticulously labeled. Cousin Day photos where Liam was always shoved to the edge, or, funny enough, mysteriously in the bathroom when the camera clicked. Grandparent gifts? Jenna's kids would get bikes, tablets, all the latest gadgets. Liam? He'd get a generic board game for all the grandkids to share, a board game that somehow never left their house. I try to tell myself I was imagining it, that it was trauma brain from too many calls, or just me being an overprotective divorced dad. Pick your label, I had them all. Then came Adventure Island. 2 summers ago. My parents called it a grandkid surprise. They even had matching t-shirts printed. Liam was ecstatic, buzzing for weeks. We pulled into the parking lot, and my dad handed out season passes in little plastic sleeves. 1, 2, 3 passes for Jenna's kids. Nothing for Liam. When I asked, my mom just laughed it off. "Oh, Mark," she chirped. "Season passes are expensive. He doesn't live near us. He wouldn't use it enough to justify the cost. You can just buy him day tickets when you come." It's the same. Liam heard every single word. He still wore the t-shirt, still managed a brave little smile. But on the drive home, he asked, "Why don't they want me around as much?" Man, I should have drawn the line right then. Instead, I picked up 2 overtime shifts, bought him his own season pass, and we went just the 2 of us the very next weekend. I told myself that was the answer. To do more, to be more, to fill in all the gaps they left. What I didn't realize, what I was teaching them, was this. If they hurt my kid, I'd pay to fix it. So, the renovation drama, the real fuse, it ignited in September. I was coming off a brutal 14-hour night shift, a kitchen fire, an overdose, an elderly fall, when my phone buzzed in the parking lot. Bunker coat slung over my arm, I saw it. A screenshot of a contractor quote. $92,000. A full gut renovation of Jenna's kitchen, plus a multi-generational suite, added onto my parents' house. New floors, new cabinets, new bathroom, the works. Underneath, Jenna had typed, "Good news. Contractor says we can start in January. If we pay half up front, we'll do $23,000. Mom and Dad will somehow scrap together $23,000. Mom says it's your turn to contribute. You make the most, so you'll cover the other $46,000. Family home equals family responsibility. $46,000. I read it 3 times, just standing there, the smoke still clinging to my uniform. That's a year of Liam's college at a state school. That's a decent used car. That's every single holiday shift differential and side job I'd taken for the past few years. I wrote back 1 word. Just no. 2 minutes later, a voice note came through. Jenna's voice, sickeningly bright and sugary. "Okay. Well, if you're going to be selfish about it, that's your choice. But don't expect an invite to Christmas. Then it was Mom, her voice dripping with fake hurt. She says you've never stepped up the way she thought you would. Tyler and I are doing everything, Mark. We have 3 kids. If you don't want to be part of the family home, maybe you shouldn't be around for family holidays either. I listened to it twice. My blood ran cold. I didn't reply. I just blocked notifications from our family group chat and went inside to shower off the smoke, trying to wash away the stench of their entitlement. I told myself they were just mad in the moment, that it would blow over long before December. I was so wrong. They made good on it. No Thanksgiving invite. Mom sent a single, sterile text. You're welcome to stop by after dinner if you want to see your grandparents. Not we'd love to have you both. Not bring Liam. Just a slot. Like a plumber's appointment. I took Liam to my buddy Dan's instead. Dan's one of the guys for my shift. His wife cooked way too much food on purpose. His kids treated Liam like a real cousin. We went home full, tired, and a little less hollow. December rolled in. A week before Christmas, Mom finally texted. We're having everyone on Christmas Eve at 4. Given the tension, maybe it's better if you and Liam stay home this year, and we reset in January. I don't want drama in front of the little ones. I just stared at that line about little ones until the words blurred. Liam is one of the little ones. I typed and deleted a dozen angry responses. How about no, Liam is a child, not a consequence. You're choosing a kitchen over your own grandson. In the end, I sent nothing. I just screenshotted the message, filed it away mentally under evidence. For whenever I started to feel like I was overreacting. I just needed to go back to their actual words. So, about that RAV4, it wasn't Jenna's car. Not legally. 3 years ago, her transmission blew. She called me, sobbing in the firehouse parking lot. Tyler's hours got cut. The van was dead. The kids had school 6 miles away. Mark, please, she begged. I went with her to the dealership, just to look. We walked out with a 5-year loan in my name, with her listed as an authorized driver. She was supposed to transfer it once their credit improved. I made the down payment, $1,400 from my meager savings. She was supposed to send me the monthly amount, and I'd pay the bank. Sometimes she did. Sometimes she was a little short this month, but we'll catch up after tax returns. I always covered the gaps because defaulting would hit my credit, not hers. So, when I saw that car, parked right there in my parents' driveway, in their family-first Christmas photos, a Christmas my own son had been disinvited from, something just snapped. I couldn't make them love my kid. I couldn't force them to invite us. But I sure as hell didn't have to fund their lives while they erased him. I walked over to the watch computer, logged into my banking app, pulled up that auto loan, paid that month's installment, then, with a grim satisfaction, I hit the button to remove Jenna's access as an authorized user. Next, I opened my notes, found the number for the tow company. Mike, the owner, is an old high school friend. We've pulled each other out of more than one mess. He picked up on the second ring. Mike's towing. Hey man, it's Mark from 14. Hey brother. Merry Christmas Eve. You guys busy? Standing by for Santa-related chimney rescues. I deadpanned. But listen, I need a personal favor. I gave him the address, the make and plate, and told him exactly where the spare key was hidden in that magnetic box under the rear bumper. Is it a repo? He asked, a hint of curiosity in his voice. Title's in my name, I said, my voice flat. Loan's in my name. Driver's an authorized user who's no longer authorized. I'm asking you to move my vehicle off their property. I'll meet you at my place after shift and take it from there. He whistled low. Family?
Yeah.
I looked over at Liam, still on the floor, carefully trying to fit a tiny plastic ladder onto his Lego engine. He kept glancing at my phone like it might explode. You sure you want to do this today of all days? Mike asked.
Yeah, I said.
I'm sure. All right, Mike said. I got a driver 10 minutes away. Consider it done. I hung up. My phone buzzed immediately.
Not social media this time.
It was Jenna. What? Mark, take that comment down. You're embarrassing, Mom. Then another, seconds later. Mom says this is cruel. It's Christmas Eve. Whatever you're thinking, stop.
I didn't reply.
I just opened another app. For the past 5 years, my parents' electric and gas had been on auto-pay for my account. It started after my dad forgot to pay and got a shut-off notice. I told myself it was simpler to manage it myself.
Less stress for them.
A couple of taps, and my name as the responsible party disappeared from both utility accounts. Next up, the $200 weekly transfer I'd been sending them for groceries. Cancelled. The shared cell phone plan that started with 4 lines but had slowly grown to 8, parents, Jenna, Tyler, and 2 of her kids with smartphones already. I called the provider. After the usual menu maze, a woman finally answered. How can I help you today? I want to remove 4 lines from my account, I said. Effective immediately. I'll pay off any remaining device balances on my card right now. They can open their own plan after that. She confirmed names and numbers. Just to be clear, she said, once I do this, they'll lose service right away. I'm aware, I replied, my voice hard. She hesitated. Okay, I just need a reason for our notes. The TV in the day room was playing some dumb car commercial with a giant bow on the hood. Liam made soft siren noises under his breath. Budget change, I said. I'm done paying for people who don't consider my son family. We got a call, right as I hung up. Kitchen fire, grease, small house. I pulled my gear on. Liam watched from the doorway like I told him, feet behind the yellow line, hands behind his back. Be safe, he said. Always, I replied. The world shrunk down again. To warm smoke, shouted commands, the familiar weight of a charged hose. A different kind of fire. A fire I knew how to fight. When we finally cleared that call, pulling away from the steaming rubble, I checked my phone in the back of the engine. 23 missed messages. The first was from Jenna. A photo of the RAV4, its taillights glowing an angry red as it sat on the tow truck bed in the early dark. Are you insane? She screamed in text. You stole my car on Christmas Eve. The kids are crying. Mom is hysterical. You've ruined today. How do you expect us to get to church? The next was from Mom. Mark, I don't recognize you anymore. This is spiteful. Your sister's kids did nothing to you. You're punishing them because you're mad at me. You've always held a grudge. Your father is furious. Then a voice note from Dad. His voice, usually so calm, was shaking with rage. You better fix this before the bank gets involved, boy. We raised you better. You're not cutting this family off. You're having a midlife crisis. We'll talk when you've calmed down. And don't drag that kid into this. That kid, I closed my eyes. A red haze behind my eyelids. Liam wasn't that kid.
He was my kid.
And they had dragged him into this the moment they wrote him out of Christmas. I just put the phone away. The guys in the rig didn't ask. Firehouse rule. You don't push unless someone starts talking. I didn't start. The fallout hit full force the next morning. Christmas Day, 7:30 a.m. I walked into my house, Liam half asleep on my shoulder, a grocery bag full of leftovers from the station in my hand. The crew had insisted we take them. We'd had our own version of Christmas there. The guys brought small, wrapped gifts. The chief even let Liam sit in the driver's seat and honk the horn once. We watched Home Alone on a 20-year-old DVD. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. I tucked Liam into his bed, clicked on his string of blue fairy lights, and stepped into the kitchen.
My phone rang.
Jenna. I let it go to voicemail. Then Mom. Then Dad. Then Mom again. Finally, my Aunt Lisa called. She's my dad's younger sister, the only one who's ever told him no without flinching. I answered. Hey, I said, bracing myself. There was a pause. Then, I just wanted to hear your voice before I drive over there and give your parents a piece of my mind. I exhaled a laugh, a shaky, relieved sound I didn't know was in me. So, you saw? Oh, I saw, she said, her voice dry. I also saw a 9-year-old missing from every single Christmas photo. Want to tell me why? And so, I told her everything. The $92,000 quote, the it's your turn to contribute, the disinvite, the RAV4, my comment, the tow truck, the utilities, the phones. She listened, completely silent, which for Lisa is nothing short of a miracle. When I finished, she was quiet for a long moment. Okay, she said, finally. 1. I'm proud of you. 2. They're going to spin this like you're crazy. Let them. 3. I'm making lasagna and bringing my kids over tomorrow. Liam deserves a Christmas with family that actually acts like it. I blinked hard, a lump forming in my throat. You don't have to. I know, she cut in firm. I want to. And Mark, don't you dare apologize for any of this. They've been using you as an ATM with a pulse for years. Time's up. We hung up. I stared at the blank TV screen for a while, the silence of the empty kitchen feeling loud. My phone lit up again. Another message from Mom, almost immediately. Your little stunt got your father's credit flagged. The bank called about the auto loan. We don't deserve this, Mark. After everything we've done for you, your sister is stuck with 3 kids and no car. You've taken Christmas away from them. Is this what being a firefighter has done to you? Made you cold? You need to fix this now. I typed back, deleted it, typed again. This time I kept it short, brutal. I'm not your backup bank. Liam is not optional. Until you can treat him like family, you're off my accounts and out of my wallet. Merry Christmas. I hit send. Then I blocked her number. Did the same for my dad. And Jenna. The quiet that followed felt enormous. They didn't stay quiet in real life, though. 2 days later, a sharp knock at my door. I was in the kitchen, mixing pancake batter. Liam was at the table, sketching a fire truck with way too many ladders. I wiped my hands and opened it. My parents and Jenna stood on the porch, bundled in winter coats, their faces tight, hard. My mom tried to step inside. I blocked the doorway with my body. Hi, I said, my voice flat. You can stay on the porch. Jenna's eyes were red, but I couldn't tell if it was from crying or pure rage. You humiliated me, she hissed, skipping any kind of greeting. In front of everyone on Facebook. On Christmas. I looked at her, calmly. You disinvited my kid from Christmas, I said. On purpose. After expecting me to give you $46,000. That has nothing to do with the car, she snapped. It has everything to do with the car. I shot back, my voice rising. And the phone bill and the utilities and the money. Everything I've been covering while you all treat my son like a +1 you can just leave off the guest list. My dad crossed his arms, the familiar, disappointed dad posture. You made your mother cry, he said, like that was the ultimate, unforgivable sin. I felt my jaw clench, a vein throbbing in my temple. She made my son cry. I corrected him, my voice dangerously low. You just didn't see it because you were too busy posing for family-first pictures without him. Mom's face twisted. We just needed a drama-free Christmas, she whined. You always bring tension, Mark. You're so sensitive. You'd rather punish us than let your sister get a nicer kitchen so we can host everyone properly. Is this really about Liam, or is it about your pride? Behind me, I heard Liam's chair scrape softly. He was listening.
God.
I took a deep breath, trying to steady my voice. It's about my child, I said. Every word weighted. And the message you're sending him. What message? My dad demanded, scoffing. That actions have consequences? That when you refuse to help family, you don't get to enjoy the benefits? You think that boy is going to remember one Christmas? I stepped out onto the porch, pulling the door almost closed behind me, needing to protect Liam from what was coming next. He's already going to remember the Christmas he got left out, I said, my voice breaking slightly. I won't add the memory of watching his dad keep paying thousands of dollars to people who won't even include him in a picture. Mom shook her head, eyes glossy. We're your parents, Mark. You owe us. No, I said quietly, firmly. I don't. Not like this. Not at the cost of my kid's sense of worth. Jenna jumped back in, desperate. So that's it, she choked. You're just going to leave us stranded? We have one car now, Mark.
One.
How am I supposed to get 3 kids to school and Tyler to work? I have a suggestion, I said, looking her dead in the eye. You call the bank, refinance the loan into your own name, and come pick the car up from my driveway once it's no longer my financial responsibility. Until then, it stays with me." Her mouth dropped open. "You can't do that," she gasped. "That's cruel." "What's cruel?" I replied, my voice sharp. "Is expecting me to keep you mobile while you cut my son out of your life whenever it's convenient." My dad jabbed a finger toward me. "You'll regret this, Mark. When we're gone, you'll wish you'd been more generous. Money comes and goes. Family doesn't." I thought of Liam counting faces on that screen, of the Adventure Island passes, of every single little slight I'd tried to wallpaper over with overtime pay and expensive gifts. "Family does come and go," I said, the words slow and deliberate. "Every time you choose a renovation, or your perception over a child, that's when it goes." I took another breath, straightened my shoulders. "You're not welcome in my house right now. When you're ready to apologize to Liam, not me, him, and when you're ready to treat him the way you treat Jenna's kids, we can talk. Until then, I'll mail any important documents." That was it. My mom started to say my name, but I closed the door. My hands were shaking again, but this time it was from a different kind of adrenaline. Liam was standing in the hallway, clutching his drawing. "Are we in trouble?" he asked, his voice tiny. I crouched down, eye level with him. "No, buddy," I said, pulling him close. "We're just making new rules." And new rules looked like this. No more automatic transfers to my parents. No more bailing out Jenna. No more answering calls from people who only remembered my number when a bill was due. Instead, I picked up one extra overtime shift, not to hand over to them, but to open a dedicated account in Liam's name. College, trade school, first apartment, whatever he chose. Later, I told him it was our future fire station fund. He thought that was hilarious. Aunt Lisa came over the next night with 2 pans of lasagna, a bag of mismatched ornaments, and her teenagers in tow. They both unfollowed my parents on social media because, as her daughter put it, we're not into fake. We ate at my tiny dining table, squeezing in extra chairs from neighbors. Liam sat in the middle, beaming, telling my cousins all about getting to honk the fire engine horn. No one made a joke at his expense. No one forgot his name. At some point, Lisa went quiet, fork hovering over her plate. "You know," she said, looking at me with a sad kind of wisdom, "your dad's been like this since we were kids. Money, image, control. I was just too scared to cut him off. You did what I couldn't." "I don't feel brave," I admitted, staring at my plate. "I feel like I set a house on fire and walked away." She snorted, a sharp, knowing sound. "You're a firefighter, Mark. Sometimes you have to tear down a burned-out wall so it doesn't collapse on people later." I let that sit for a moment. After they left, Liam dug through the bag of ornaments. He found a small wooden one, shaped like a house, blank in the middle. "Can I draw on this?" he asked. "Sure," I said. He grabbed a marker and, with painstaking care, wrote, "Me and Dad's house. Family." Then he drew 2 stick figures holding hands and a tiny fire truck off to the side. We hung it in the very center of our tree. I'd like to say my parents had a change of heart quickly. They didn't. From what I heard through the grapevine, the renovation stalled without my $46,000. The contractor pushed their start date back. They had to pick cheaper cabinets. My dad called my aunt a rant about ungrateful children and woke therapy culture, like it explained everything. They unfriended me on Facebook before I even got around to unfollowing them.
Fine.
A few cousins quietly liked my "Merry Christmas from Station 14" post with Liam in his mini helmet. A couple even messaged me, saying they were proud I finally cut the cord. The silver RAV4 sat in my driveway for 3 weeks. On New Year's Day, I called the bank and paid off the remaining balance in full. It hurt, man, it really did. But it also meant something important. The title would come to me clean. No strings. I drove the car to a used lot and sold it. I took the check and split it in half. Half went into Liam's account. Half went into a separate savings labeled therapy/attorney/emergencies. Because if there's one thing years on the job have taught me, It's that you don't wait for the next fire to start before you buy a new extinguisher. I didn't tell my family any of that. They found out the car was gone when Jenna showed up unannounced on my off day and saw an empty curb. She pounded on the door for a while. I wasn't home. Liam and I were at the park practicing free throws and drinking hot chocolate from a thermos. Christmas that year was small, but it was ours. I swapped shifts to be home, covered our tiny place in crooked lights, and Liam helped, laughing as he got tangled in the cords. Lisa, her kids, and my buddy Dan's family squeezed around my table. Later, Liam showed me a drawing, my parents' house, and next to it, a smaller one with 2 stick figures and a fire truck labeled Real Family. I knew then we already had everything we needed.
So, what do you think?
If you were in my shoes, faced with that kind of emotional and financial blackmail, would you have done the same? Or would you have kept trying to mend a family that kept breaking your heart and your son's? Let me know in the comments below.